In this video, I'm basically going to show you how I would remove the alternator. I start by getting the coolant pipes out of the way. The thing's broken there on mine because I tightened it too tight one time when refitting it. But you move those out of the way and then you can get access to the alternator. This is the main bolt for the tensioner part. It keeps the belts tight, but you need to undo this 16mm socket so that you can move the alternator out of the way so you can access the bolts underneath. This is a replacement alternator that I fitted quite a while ago because the other alternator was duff. You see you can move it now, but the belts are sort of holding it in position a bit. So if you lift it up, you can remove the belts. You can also remove like the coolant tank and air box, and that'll give you better access to the other bolts sort of behind the alternator. So once you remove this, you can see this is the main bolt that kind of holds it in place, and then there's a bracket there with 3 nuts. There's 2 you can see there and 1 further down. But if you undo the 2 bolts that you can see, you can then move this bracket, which then enables you to remove the big long screw, because if you try and do it now it bumps into the bulkhead of the car. So down at the bottom there, that used to be an Allen key bolt like this top one, and it's a 6mm bolt on this, but you know, if you want you can replace them with normal bolts, M8 bolts, and that's also one of the grounding wires for the alternator. There's a few others here. There's cable here and then another main cable there that goes off to the battery. Then you've also got the regulator at the bottom, and this alternator's got one of those little extra cables. This is the Allen key for the bolt there, and what I've done here is I've actually dremeled this to make it shorter on the other end so it's easier to get in. But the problem I have is that this bolt has actually snapped, leaving a part of it inside the red bit on the engine. So here we can see I'm having a look, and that's the other end of the bolt down there. So that's super annoying and going to be really difficult to fix, but if you don't have this problem, you can fit an M8 bolt. I've cut this down to size to see if I can get this to fit in, and use some thread lock when you're fitting it back in so it stays in place, because if it's loose it will escape, which is what happened to my other bolt down there. And yeah, you'll then need to replace it. This is a 13mm socket. It's got a washer because it's holding that extra earth wire in place. The other thing I've recently done is replace these spark plugs on the car, and for this we need just an Allen key to undo these 4 little bolts to remove the cover, and you can just pop these off, these cables, and replace the spark plugs. I've used NGK Iridium spark plugs as a replacement. I'll put the model version number on the screen and in the comments, or description rather. And I've used a 10mm spark plug removal tool. That's the new spark plugs. These are the old. This is the first old one versus the new. See how dirty it is, and the code of the old one there. I'll put these on the screen just for reference. Popping the cable back on. Pop, makes a nice sound when you got it on. Nice sound when you pull it off. going to do this one-handed isn't particularly easy, but you can do it with one hand. I'm just doing them one by one in order so that I don't have any issues with the cables. But they should be the right length. And I do go back and tighten these a little bit more off camera. And you should probably look up how much torque to use or how much you should tighten them. There's instructions on the box with the spark plugs. And it's probably better if you use a actual spark plug socket and a wrench rather than this. This is just what I had, so I'm using this little tool. Someone can leave a comment below if they want on how healthy they think my engine is based on the spark plugs that are coming out. So I'm tightening them, well, I'm getting them started by hand to begin with. My Car Mods recommends like having a piece of hose to do that. Makes it easier to do that by hand to get them started. And again, I have tightened it, or I'll do tighten it more off camera. And the fourth one. I don't know if this is good content. I mean, once you've seen one spark plug removed, you've seen more. I actually have to use another tool for this because this one's quite tight and the location of it all makes it a bit tricky. And a new spark plug. Do I manage it? Can I manage it? Do I do it? Or do I do it off camera? Oh, I think I do it. And there's like a little, once you pop that on, nice click, there's this rubber bung on at the end. Protect it against the elements. Let me put the cover back on, put the screws back in. Fire it up. I've just got 4 to do. Using a small Allen key, I think it's it. And these are the old spark plugs on the left, and the new ones on the right, and model number you can see there. And I'll put the details in the description below. And the next bit we're going to do is to do with this turbo badge. The old car, or the car came with this old turbo badge, which is the wrong one. It's from an Audi. So to replace that, we're just going to remove the grille, which uses these T20 star screws to hold it in place. And once you've undone them, the bottom is held in place with these small plastic clips, pinch clips. You can be careful removing that, and you end up with a car without a grille. Looks kind of cool. And here we've polished the grille, sorted the black, fitted the new turbo badge, which just looks so much better. Very pleased with that. That is a very satisfying thing to do. So anyway, thanks for watching.